Wow. Okay, we are here. Right into it. This is episode 11. Our voices are quite
Both are raspy.
very, very, very raspy. They probably don't sound like ourselves, but we've been coaching a lot. I lost my voice last night.
Me too.
So yeah, I think this is going to be a great podcast. How have you been enjoying the podcast so far? So we've had a couple guests. We've been coming in the studio, which has been a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing a couple with me and you, just alone. And then we had Dan on. How are you feeling about the podcast?
It's been really cool to have an opportunity to express ourselves
100%.
in a different way where I think, we can share our thoughts. We can share kind of what's in our heart and what we're doing. And it's not just, we're not just doing it to make a paycheck and build a gym. Like there's more to it.
Yeah.
So it's been a cool way to express our hearts in a way where people can hear it. And it's nice to do that together too.
Yeah. And we were talking about like the direction of the podcast a little bit. And you've been telling me, and I've been feeling the same thing, that it's important that me and you just get on here and talk about what's going on.
Totally.
And just what has happened in the last couple of weeks. And it's been fun doing that. And I really excited about that.
Yeah, it's super cool to have guests on like Dr. Dan Silva.
100%.
Oh my gosh, that guy is amazing.
Danny.
It was so good to have him and how much value he brought in conversation and just really challenged me to think about my own fitness and my recovery. Like it's been so cool to have people on the podcast. So I love that. And like Jazz, when we had Jazz on, so cool to have Jazz.
Yeah.
I just saw Jazz. Love that guy, man. And that's cool. That's one side of the podcast.
Uh-huh.
And I think most podcasts are like that.
Yeah.
They have guests on and it brings a lot of value to people. But then there's another side that I am really enjoying as well.
Yeah.
And that's me and you just being super transparent, I think, with each other and then whoever else chooses to listen.
Yeah. And it's like we never know where the podcast is going to go. And I think we're getting better at like kind of getting more deep and getting into like what's going on.
Yeah, I think part of what makes our friendship deep and strong is me and you have always been able to have conversations that are deeper than surface stuff. Mm-hmm. And I want to go there in the podcast, and I know you do too. So
let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
It's good.
Okay, so why don't we start it off? We're going to start off, and I think this is going to be a good transition to just lift us off and go. Let's talk about, okay, so Revival Week happened. It was bananas, a lot of fun, but one of the things that we started doing is coaching together again and together, and we do that for holidays and stuff like that, but not regularly on the schedule. How has that been for you, like, just working Survivor Revival and High Rocks Revival?
Yeah, we've done 2 High Rocks Revivals and 1 Survivor Revival. Tongue twisted there. Before F45 was F45 and a couple other gyms, I know their model is to have 2 coaches at every class. But 10 years ago, when we started at Monarch Park, we had 2 coaches in every class.
Yeah.
And still, until we just started going in the red because we couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And then we started going to 1 coach because... yeah, we just wanted to keep going. It was the only way we could, right?
Yeah.
So I think to go back to me and you is definitely brought me back to our roots of like where we started. I remember we started. We didn't have a clock. We didn't have a clock.
If people only knew.
Hey, we didn't have a clock, and we were doing it in our head. I mean,
we were
whatever. We were transparent on this podcast.
Yeah.
It was what it was. We were so raw.
It would be like a rush class with no clock.
With no clock.
And we would be guessing.
I'd be like 5, 4, and there'd still be like 15 seconds.
And I'd be like 10,
or whatever, right?
9, and it was bad.
No, it was bad. We can go down that rabbit hole, but we won't on this podcast. So to answer your question, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
It's brought me back to roots. And then last night, today's January 16th or 17th. I don't even know what day it is, but last night we had a High Rocks Revival at Durham, and I wouldn't even say it was a workout. I would say it was like a pay-per-view event.
You said every class needs to have a theme song, and you were finding
yeah, man.
It was nuts.
It was like, why was it nuts? I know that me and you doing it together is a cool thing, but like, you can't do that every day. but I think like once a week, it's like an event.
Yeah, I
What
think
was that like for you?
bananas.
Why?
I think we're one of the reasons. Well, the energy. I think people look forward to this class. They know it's going to be very hard, so they come in kind of ready and juiced up, and their energy is like in anticipation of what am I going to do today?
Right.
And we've been trying to top it every day. Like full transparency. Andrew made the workout last week or this week. I made the workout last week, and sometimes we were just like, in a competitive way, not to be better than you, but we're just trying to like keep it fresh.
Yeah.
And the workouts have been really challenging, and that always adds a little bit of excitement for people when they're coming in. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So energy has just been crazy.
Yeah.
I think people are really focused on their training, so that helps too. You're getting people that are like geared to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, WWE, Stone Cold Steve Austin, like Razor Ramon, Rey Mysterio Jr. pay-per-view event, WrestleMania. That's kind of what it felt like for me last night.
Yeah, no, it's nuts.
It hit such a spot for me because I love sports. I love playoffs. I love even NBA. Like, I'm not even a basketball guy, but like NBA playoffs, MLB playoffs. Like, it just felt like that atmosphere to some degree.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big reason why I'm in the fitness. Like, just that feeling of, and it's like, I want to keep that atmosphere like that as best as I can, but there's so many intangible things that we can't even control. We just have to show up and do our best and just love people and just let it happen. And it might not always be perfect. It might not always be like it was last night, but last night was a marker, man. It
was fun last night because we kind of did this in our training session on our own. But I think what was kind of cool is, we did really, really, really heavy sled pulls and almost to the point of like breaking some people. Like, I can't move the sled. But I thought it was like, we don't do that very, 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 very often. But I thought it was cool to work through that as like, especially in a high rocks type of class where that race is so mental and it can get you. A lot of your performance has to do with your mental, like how much you're willing to go through the pain, how far you're willing to push yourself. And it was cool. I thought that we did that last night.
Yeah, and keeping it safe because a sled pull is it's actually low impact.
Yeah,
and you can work through it slow.
Yeah,
you don't have to speed through it, and it's not like you're jolting your joints and landing on your feet.
Yeah,
and it's just you're working through a steady movement of pulling weight.
Yeah.
So it was safe. Everyone had a good time, and on to the next. Now, that being said, Survivor Revival was last Saturday.
That was very nice workout. I love that.
That was really cool. Different vibe, same energy, like same intention, but a different vibe because we were in the dome, and we actually got a chance to come together and coach a class together with some of the people that have been there for 9, 8, 7 years.
Yeah.
So that was really special too, because we were rocking with a lot of people that have been there for a long time. Diane, Sarah Fox, Anna, Jack. Like, there were some people that have been with us for a long time. So we got to do what we did together from our roots and then do it in the dome. And that was really special too. Yeah. Why was that good for you?
Yeah, I think same thing. Getting to doing it together, me and you, with like some of the OGs is just a throwback for us, and it's fun. And same thing, you're again, full transparency. Some weeks you're making the workout, we kind of alternate.
You like that three stations in 12? You like that workout?
I liked it a lot. So it's just fun. It just makes it fun, and that's really when it's fun. It makes for a good vibe. You know what I mean? Inside, and you can feel it.
Nice. I love it.
So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit more about just some things that have been happening.
Where are we going with the podcast today?
I don't know, actually.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay.
No
cool,
idea.
Cool.
I had like this thing to talk about, and then I think it will just lead us somewhere else.
Okay. Awesome. Because Josh is leading the podcast today, full transparency. he said that he was going to come in with a nice agenda today, so I'm following today. Let's go.
Well, it's just like not a full agenda, but like I think it's I'm feeling good about it. We've had it's just been random, but the last couple weeks, I'd say the last 2 weeks, we've been doing these classes together. We ran a lot of holiday workouts together. We've just been together setting up, and we've been having really interesting conversations about kind of direction.
Okay.
And
We're going here. I like it.
yeah. And yeah, I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and just talk about that. Maybe not maybe how
let's
that's
go for it, bro. No, let's go for it. Let's go for it.
How that's affecting you personally, and how our conversations have been going, and what we've been talking about. Because I think it's so, I think people can get something out of it, because I don't think it's about the situation. I just think it's about the personal like stuff that we walk through as a person, as just a human. Okay. So tell me how you've been feeling about some of the conversations about opportunities that we've had. We don't really have to get into the opportunities and stuff, but we've been seeing more open up.
Yes. Where to go for first? I like that we're going here in this podcast, because like last week was so different and more structured and more value add on specific topics. But I'm about where we're going with this, so let's do it. Yeah, I think that we'll go back to the podcast. We're doing this to bring people into the journey of resilience. And this is not just a fitness podcast.
No.
Right? So it's good to talk about these things. And I think it's important to express where on a day-to-day basis of doing resilience and building it together, I really often don't know what to do. And I'm quite frankly and frequently in a place where we talk and we have to make decisions together, and we don't know how those decisions are going to end up.
Of course.
And we have kids now, and we have wives and families and a lot of people around us that we really care about. And these decisions probably matter more than they did when we were in our 20s. So to give people a context of, as we're working through these conversations, what's at stake. Yeah. It's not, sometimes it's not small potatoes. We've taken out loans. We've taken a lot of risks. And we've taken some big steps. So these conversations that we've been having, to answer your question, have been exhilarating. Oh yeah. Because they're not passive, worthless conversations. They're big conversations. And oftentimes they have a lot to do with where we're at in faith, and our relationship with God, and our relationship with our wives, and our relationship with each other. Yeah. And we have to be really honest and help each other through these conversations, because they're intense.
So one of the great thing, great, I can't even speak.
Segue?
No, that was great what you said. Very true. So maybe before it was a little bit easier, like the weight of a decision didn't seem sometimes like pressure, but sometimes it can feel like pressure when you got a family and you have kids and you got bills and stuff like that. Yeah, I wanted to talk about an interesting conversation that we had yesterday, and we were talking about a couple opportunities that we see. And you've been challenging me to try to see, in my head, logically, I see like two ways to go, but both would be great. But sometimes I have a hard time figuring out the how-to of how we're gonna make two go on. And it's like it's definitely like believing in something that almost seems impossible, right? But and then you're also trying to make forward movement and move forward and take progressions. You know what I mean?
Take ground, yeah.
So you're not just sitting on your hands; you're still daily making progressions. And we talked about this, and I gave you like I was like, well, don't you think that we had two maybe ways of going? Both could be very where we want to go, our direction, a vision. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that and how you kind of approach that with your mindset? Yeah.
It's easy to dance around topics when we're on this podcast. So let's just be like more like direct.
Okay.
I think is the best way to handle it.
Okay.
Because people don't really want to listen to fluff. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So let's go for it. When there's two decisions of we were working through yesterday, it was directionally based.
Yeah.
What the direction of our business, but also of our life. Like, where are we going with this business? Is weighty because we're not selling computers. We're not selling cars where it's a commodity. It's a tangible commodity. We're selling a service, and we're bringing our time and our energy into it. So we're actually applying ourselves into the service, which is what we're basically offering people to, whether they want to buy it or not.
Yeah.
So when we are talking about a direction, it really matters because it's our life going into it.
Yeah.
Right? So I told you, hey bro, if we go this direction, it might just be kind of like playing it safe and doing what we think is gonna sustain us and be okay. But if we go this way, the other direction, I think that it's fixing a problem. It's finding a solution for what we believe needs to be done. And that is oftentimes what we talk about. I want to create something with you and together with the coaches and everyone involved, something that doesn't exist. Constantly trying to create something that I'm not like, this has to be, it has to be done in a way that no one's ever done it before. But I don't want to do something that has already exists, or this concept that already exists. I want to create something new because that's in my heart.
Yeah.
I want to constantly push the envelope with you and with all the coaches, because I believe in the coaches that we have. I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe that there is a calling that we have been called to do this. And that often we don't know what that final thing is.
No.
But so we're constantly trying to create something that doesn't exist. But not from a place of like trying to pull things out of left field and do it. We're being led one day at a time, and just responding to that in faith and being like, okay, this is the next thing to do. Let's go. Let's try it. Let's do it. So
let me jump in and say, like, just be totally vulnerable, because I don't mind being vulnerable at all. So I straight up, like, one of the things that I can struggle with is when I can see it in my head. I can see the vision, or like I can see different visions of different ways to go in the business, and I can see it. But then I get so caught up in the how to. How am I going to do this? And I talked about it on my Instagram video the other day. I don't know if I communicated it well. It can sometimes drive a little bit of anxiety, like, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? And having a hard time letting go and being like, believing and having faith that it will just drop. It, like, obviously I'm going to have to put one step in front of the other, but I don't have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm walking through in 2025, because I'm learning that it's an interesting walk.
Yeah. It's very hard to do what you're talking about. I think as humans, we're all facing that. And there's really no way for me to even address this conversation without talking about faith.
Yeah.
Because it would be fake of me to be on this podcast and just kind of dance around that topic, but it is the foundation of everything for me.
Yeah.
And God is leading me, and I'm with him, and we're walking this journey together of life on earth here. And I'm just walking one day at a time. So the reason why I say that is because we're talking about anxiety and the how-tos and being in control. And I think that's the battle, is that we want to be in control of everything. It comes down to control and wanting to control every outcome. And it's a fine line to walk, because as an entrepreneur, you want to be able to produce results. You want to produce a storyline, and you want to do what you want to do. And at the end of the day, sometimes numbers or results speak. So you want to control to create that result. But at the same time, it's not always like that.
Yeah, I think that's what that as an entrepreneur, you want to like work hard, right? And you want to take the next step. So not feel lazy, do the work.
Right.
So you're trying to find, what's the next step, right?
Right.
That's a balance that I'm learning, because I think I'm
Me too.
definitely aware of it now. I don't think I was even aware of it back maybe even last year. Like that, you're not gonna know the how-to sometimes. I keep saying I've been listening to a lot of people with like inspiration and believe in dreams and faith and accomplishing their dreams, and a lot of them say this same thing, like you're never gonna know. That's the step of faith you got to take, and there's risk involved in that. There's risk. Could involve your family. Could involve or it does involve your family, right? So this is a walk of faith.
Yeah. And I would what I would challenge you in is, I would say, well, if you've been given a dream, and you've been given a vision, it's probably not for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? It's probably to impact the people around you.
And I'm 100% in agreement with that.
So remembering that, right? Because if we want to control something, oftentimes it might be a result that we need or want, or we're focused on it becoming a certain way that we need it to be. When really letting go of control is probably the way we both know we kind of need to go.
Yeah.
While still, making decisions on a daily basis. It's a very interesting line to walk.
Yeah. Because the vision that we talk about, it can't be done with like our two hands.
Not a chance.
No.
That's good. You should elaborate on that. That's very good. You should. That's really good, bro. You should elaborate on that. What do you mean by that? We can't do it because you're spot on. You're a bullseye. We can't do it alone. What do you mean by that?
I think the vision that we have, or the things that we've been talking about, maybe the next step. And like you said, like we don't, or like when we talk about vision and stuff like that, I know for me, I don't have like, this is what it's going to look like in 20 years and this picture that I see. But I do see some big things that it seems impossible to accomplish on my own. Some divine thing will need to happen for me to accomplish what's in my head, what I see. But it all goes back to, I don't know, I'm starting to think and realize that the purpose is much deeper, and it's more about, it's about a lot of things, but I think a lot is about this journey and what we're going through and sharing it. So I don't know. Does that make any sense to you?
It does. It does.
Yeah. So sorry, maybe I didn't answer your question. It can't be done on your own, but it's like, it's a fine line, like you said, of having patience to just, as an entrepreneur, you always want to take that next step and you want to like try to keep moving. But when you don't know how that aligns, you don't see how it's going to work out, who you're going to talk to, how's it going to happen. It's a challenge, right? It can be a challenge. And that's why it's great that we can talk to each other, because we can, as having a business partner, it's great to like, we were just having really challenged conversations in terms of challenging each other. And I think that's been a blessing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's more there. We can go. We can keep going. I'm thinking I got to get out of my mind, because I'm thinking about this being on YouTube, and I'm thinking about just people maybe just kind of like, what are they talking about? But it's so real to you and me. Yeah. So let's just keep going, because even if we get one view, it doesn't matter. We're breaking it down how it really is. Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. The thing that I see in our lives that has developed in the 10 years, and it's still in a process of being formed, is, this might sound crazy, but it's love. It's learning to just walk in love. and love the people around us and each other. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Having a business partner is it's beautiful at the same time as challenging, because you have to really cooperate and hear the other person, and that's not always easy. In fact, I have not found a fifth gear with that.
I was going to talk about this too. It's like over the 10 years, we've, the other days, someone heard us having a lay it all out conversations. We have these every so often. And in the past, we've been maybe bad at like coming back. And I think we got better at like sharing how we're feeling. And it's like anything. You can fight and different things, but it's been interesting how in the 10 years, even though we've been friends since we've been like 15, 16, but like how, I don't know, I think we're learning from each other and trying to understand each other's experience and what you're going, and it helps too. Yeah.
That's the process, man. It's the journey that we're on, and we're shedding some light on that today. Yeah. You're gonna have to push this conversation. You let me know where you want to go with it.
What, do you have some ideas? Because I am.
No, I do. I mean, because I don't know exactly where you wanted to fully go with it, but I know you were open to it and loose with it. But I would say that like a big thing about what we're talking about is fueled by passion. And passion is something that I often ask people, what are you passionate about? And I ask myself that too.
Yeah.
And I used to think being passionate about something was something that maybe you could learn or develop or something. But I really think that we're given a passion for certain things.
It's put in us.
It's put in us in many ways. And I'm expressing my passion at Resilience. I'm really not just, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I'm not here to just build a gym. Right? And that's why I'm willing to be on this podcast, because I'm passionate about what's happening.
Yeah.
I was so passionate about coming to Durham. Like, what was that going to be like? We said yes to coming to Durham, and we don't want to be transparent. We didn't have a dime.
No.
We had no idea how we were going to pay to go month to month. We had no idea how we were going to get equipment. We had no idea if it was going to work. And passion was our currency to do it. God in us was our currency to do it. Believing and looking at each other in our eyes. And sometimes there was tears shed. And saying, let's do this. I believe we can do this. We'll do what? Do what? Open a gym and run some classes? No, whatever we're in right now, let's go forward.
Keep going. Yeah.
Keep going. See what happens, because that's in me.
Yeah.
It's in me. I don't know what this is going to turn out to be. It might turn out to be a failure.
Yeah.
To whatever that even is deemed as. But to me, it wouldn't have been a failure because we tried, and we're passionate about it. And we know that this was the direction to go, and we had to work through that. And that's where we're still at with many things.
It's kind of interesting you put it that way, because like that's how I totally resonate with that. It's like when I'm talking about the passion that resides in me, it's to keep going and just keep pushing forward and to see where it takes us. And
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I need to. It's not the pushing for it to make something happen, because if it was, we would know exactly what it was. There's something in us that is telling us to move forward into a place that we don't fully know.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
And it's slowly, like, I think it's I think that. Yeah, I don't know where to go from there, but I do think that it's a passion that when you get up, it's there. And it's been like that since we started. That's how I felt since like the beginning. And it can get hard. It can get very hard. But it's not, Yeah, I like what you said about the opening Durham, and it wasn't about just going and just opening a gym. It's about that's how we felt. That's the passion that we felt inside, and that we knew that wasn't the end goal, but it's just to keep pushing forward. And
It,
Go ahead.
if we can encourage people in this conversation, we were there pushing forward to go there, and we were in the face of a lot of no's.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Why would you do this?
Yeah.
Don't do it
Too
because
risky.
of XYZ. XYZ. So if you're listening to this podcast and that's something you're working through, you know what I mean? It's sometimes well-intending people, the people that love us, and we're in the face of a lot of no's. Don't do it.
Do you think that everyone has that? Because it all deals with passion, dreams, what you kind of see in your mind. Do you think that everyone has that in them, and that just sometimes they can start to lose that, and then just say, "Screw it, I'm not going to do that."
There's countless outcomes and things that happen for sure. There's countless scenarios and people and passions and things that happen. But again, and go back, like I can't even have this conversation without pointing to my relationship with God, with Christ, and just knowing that I'm with Him and He's leading me. I can't. It's not something I muster up. So, that's maybe not something everyone can relate to or even understand or be okay with hearing, but that's the truth.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was listening to some things last night, and I'm just gonna lay like I don't care about being vulnerable. Like one of the things that I'm talking about a lot of challenges, but like sometimes I've grown up feeling like I believe in God, I believe He can do all things, but sometimes there's that feeling like, well, not for me though. You know what I mean? And I don't know if your experience has been like that. But for me, that's something that I'm working through because there's always like a little something in my brain telling me like, yeah, that works for other people, but not you, right? And it's just a walk. I think that, something I'm going through, but I do think it's something that I'm walking through for sure. So like we talked about, it's like, your vision is going to take divine intervention. Am I walking in that right now? Yeah. Is it, can I just have the vision and it's going to fall to me? And there's a little bit of that sometimes, like doubt, that you deal with.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely, man. I experienced similar things. When we're talking about like passion and dreams and outcomes like that, when it comes to faith, I don't believe that God is just like giving us a dream to like, for us just to like accomplish it. I think it's about the journey and Him revealing Himself to me throughout the journey and revealing Himself to me as a father and someone who loves me and is there for me through the journey to hold my hand and teach me along the way.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to fall on my face 7 times, but I'm going to get up 8 because He's with me. So that's what I lean into. I lean into that father-son relationship. With my pops.
I like that, Andrew.
So that's just what it is, man. And I don't really think it's about the final destination. It's just about that journey, man. Like, okay, I'll go back to more like, we're getting kind of deep, but like back to our relationship. Like, if resilience was to explode tomorrow, I would really want you to have looked back at our relationship and been like, he was a great guy to do this with, and I really enjoyed it. I like how, he covered me and my weaknesses, and he had my back even when I made a mistake. That's what I desire, and that's only to be experienced through a journey. And more oftentimes than not, I'm not going to hit those things. But through the journey, I want you to experience me like that. because I desire that. I want, and same with you.
Yeah.
And this is relationship. This is a journey.
Definitely a journey.
Is that making sense?
It does. I'm just sharing what I'm just trying to be like open and talk like what I'm walking through, because I think that will help others that may be in a similar situation where they may see something and they're a little bit nervous and scared, or they don't know, and like maybe they look at us and think like, oh, it's so like, yeah, these guys are just taking risks, it's no problem, like we're doing, but it's like a journey. It's definitely a journey, and it requires that faith.
It's really incredible to take a step back and remember how incredibly intricate humans are made, and that every person really carries a different gift, and people are creative and carry different aspects of honestly amazing things. And if we could encourage somebody listening, is that you're different, you're distinct, and we care. That's why I think resilience is resilience. We care about the individual, and we know that everyone that comes to the door is different. So if someone's listening, it's like, you're special, man.
Yeah.
You're actually special. You're different than the person next to you. You are. You're different. You're really different. And there's something about you that wants to probably be expressed, right? So encouraging that. And that's entrepreneurship.
How is that entrepreneurship?
It's entrepreneurship because entrepreneurship to me is creating something that doesn't exist in many ways. Not all the time. Whether you are a builder, or you build pools, or you build gyms, or you coach fitness, or you do something, you bring something that is distinctly yours about what you bring to the table, Josh.
Oh, I see.
Josh, and that's entrepreneurship.
Oh.
You don't work for IBM. You don't have to take on the mold of Microsoft. You present the service or what you're doing. So resilience, it's a representation of me and you. So I take that to heart. When people come into our doors, it's representing us because it's our business, and our names are like, it's what we're presenting.
Yeah.
We're presenting this. So entrepreneurship is in many ways, it's an expression of who you are. Do you see what I'm saying? Resilience is an expression of, in many ways, of who we are.
Yeah, I do see that. I wanted you to clarify more, because I don't really understand what you mean about, you were talking about that's entrepreneurship, and because you said everyone has a gift, or everyone is special, and then you said that's entrepreneurship, right? I missed that point a little bit.
What's entrepreneurship to you? What is entrepreneurship?
It's creating something. Yeah.
Right. Where's that originating? Where's that coming from?
The entrepreneur, the person's heart. Yeah.
So each person, I think, is different and distinct from each other, because you can't be an entrepreneur and be exactly like the person next to you.
Yeah, that's right.
That's just not entrepreneurship. That's copying. So entrepreneurship is an expression of the creativity and what God has put in you, or the gift that you carry, or whatever it is. What's the heartbeat behind what you're doing? And it's going to be expressed differently to each entrepreneur. Like if there's another two dudes sitting next to us and they own gyms, that gym would actually probably look a lot different than us, because it's an expression of their entrepreneur journey.
I get that.
All right.
Okay, I get that. Yeah. Okay. Some good chats.
Yeah. I don't even know what we just said for the last 10 minutes, but let's roll.
Yeah. Really, yeah. I think this is what's going to be the most interesting, is watching, like, now that we're committed to doing this podcast and we got the setup, it's like it will be cool how it evolves and what we go through and just talking about it.
Yeah.
God forbid we don't come in here off a fight or something like that and then have to roll with it. I'm sure it will happen, but it's all good.
Yeah, big shout out to Patient, who's been with us through the whole thing. He's not on camera right now, but he's been a big part of this.
Yeah.
And helping us get this going and encouraging us along the way too. Not only just as like a coach or an employee, but as a friend.
Yeah.
He's been really encouraging us to do this.
I remember the first one we did. We had the party at your house, and like Jonah was crying. Monica wanted to go home, and the patient's like, "Let's go downstairs. Let's go downstairs. You have to go live." I'm like, "Bro, I gotta leave, man. I gotta leave. The wife's gonna go crazy." But it's good. He pushed us, and that's what kind of got the ball rolling, and then got us on a cadence.
And I think me and you have kind of taken, in some ways, our own stride with it, like where we want to do more like this.
Yeah. And
I definitely understand the value of having invaluable guests on that bring these
100%.
incredible stories and unique journeys or gifts, and they shed so much light on particular topics, and they challenge us. And we're gonna do that every other podcast, but probably once a month we're gonna have these chats where we're bringing people. The idea is to really bring people into what we're actually doing behind the scenes, behind the brains. Yeah. Behind the heart of what we're actually doing.
That's what's so cool about this. I really like the idea of like bringing on guests and really picking their brains and challenging me to think differently about something or approach something a little differently. Whether it's fitness, whether whatever it is, whether it's entrepreneurship, I'm really interested in that. So having Dan on talking about that is very cool. Just hearing his story, and just. So I'm excited for the guests too. I think it's gonna pump us up and inspire us.
Yeah, and we're not just gonna go into fitness. We're gonna go into like leadership and all kinds of people that have been through many journeys. And we have like a list of a few people that we're really excited to have on.
Let's go.
Well, I know there was a couple other things that you wanted to talk about, and I'll kind of bring it back to the question you asked me. We've had conversations about direction over the last couple of times we've been together. Where are you with that? How does that hit you?
I've been trying to take some time alone and just really think about like what it is I actually want, and really spending time with that, so I can align with that and make sure this is what I want. So I've just been thinking about a lot of things I've been seeing since we, like maybe the last year, so many different opportunities coming up, and kind of you can sometimes see it in your brain, like, okay, we can go this way, that way, but I think it's exciting. It just inspires me, and I get more excited about what is to come. So walking through that, and just like I told you, like balancing the trying to figure it out on my own and taking steps forward. But super, super excited for all the possibilities. I've been really liking the moving towards more content. That's been really cool. We were talking about clothing a little bit more. We got a lot of people asking about clothing, and we've kind of always made clothing a little bit, but like just putting more of we were talking about putting more of an emphasis on it this morning, which was inspiring, and we got fired up really quickly. So it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah. Love it. Let's go.
I can change gears if you want.
Sure.
And we can talk about a little bit about training, because I wanted to talk about, we've been doing a lot of personal training sessions together with Patient, and then also with the team.
Yeah. This is a good conversation. Yeah.
Lenny and Moran.
Yeah. On podcasts, when you can like do a little thing where it's like, at this point, this is the topic. At this point, this is the topic.
Yeah, I can do that.
That's great. That would be great, because some people might want to fast forward and rewind, and they might want to come to this point. But anyways, let's do that.
And we'll put rifting underneath the first one for 30 minutes. Just okay.
No, that was good. That was good combos.
Yeah,
I think so.
I hope so.
I think so. I mean, whatever, man.
I'd say whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I was gonna make an inappropriate joke. I would have regretted it. So I wanted to talk about the sessions.
Okay.
How's that been going for you? How have you been feeling about, or like, what has that done for you training with myself? And then like some other days we've been training with the team, Lanny and Moran.
So good. So 10 years ago, we got into this because I think we both had a passion for fitness and love working out. There's something that you've loved doing when it comes to the gym. And same with me. I think it was expressed differently and there was different intentions. Where me, it was more performance-based in football. For you, it was more like aesthetic and feeling good. Both crossover for sure. But I think the journey of starting 2 gyms and also having kids and a family and these things that I could go on and on about, it really, we've been through in the last couple of years a sort of a sift and a shift of like, okay, working out might not be as much of a priority. And that's okay. But like, it's kind of brought back the importance of pushing yourself in the gym and experiencing that threshold of like, this is challenging. What is it doing for me outside the gym? So how that, to answer your question, what that's been like for me is it's given me a renewed passion and love for fitness.
Yeah.
Which is expressed in the business because I'm coaching every day or every other day, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's helping me as a coach bring that passion and that reminder of how much I actually love fitness into class. And then it's also, there's like a few things it's done. It's also, I thought, brought all of us a little bit closer. Lanny, Miran, you, me, Patient. We're training together. And it's like a brotherhood. I love that stuff. Like growing up on a football team in a locker room. I love that stuff, man. Those are the things I remember most. I don't really remember games. I remember the brotherhood in the locker room. It was just something. So I feel that kind of brewing and starting. And that has an effect and a trickle effect on outside of the gym when I'm talking to Miran one-on-one or you're talking to Lanny one-on-one, when I'm hanging out with Patient one-on-one. There's just more of a closeness.
Yeah.
Because we're putting in that vulnerable time together.
Yeah.
So that's also been something. And then for me, just letting the dog out. Like, man, like there's something in me that I love to hit these workouts where you're just really unleashing the beast. Like you're getting after it. And I love that. I love that. Me and Patient did a session on Tuesday, maybe a top 10 workout I'll never, ever forget. It just was one of those sessions where you're going through a session, you're going to hit these moments where you want to stop. You battle through that. You make a decision to keep going. And then it happens again 10 minutes later. And then you hit a breakthrough. And then you're pushing your body. You're hitting a new level. And then you're looking at the guy next to you, encouraging them. And then you're sweating. And you're going to a place in your mind in this workout where everything's telling you to stop, but you want to keep going. And passion unites with fitness. And challenge meets opportunity. And this is fitness. To me, this is why I do resilience. Big reason. There's
such a parallel to life.
Man, direct parallel.
It's the exact
direct
same thing.
parallel. And how I was feeling, it wasn't just endorphins after the workout. I was talking to Patient and Miran after. Like there was a lot of discussion about moments in that workout where you're taking that with you now as a coach, as a father, as a husband, as a High Rocks aspiring athlete, as a person who owns a gym, as a coach who's programmed. All of that comes with you, and it gives you a new perspective, and it sharpens you.
Yeah.
It sharpens you. So it's been amazing to answer your question.
Great answer. I've been feeling the exact same thing with like really dialing in the training. I can totally relate to you with the like fitness, like maybe not being, it's a part of your life, but not super top priority. Not that it's the highest priority in my life right now, but it is a priority, a big one. And it helps you relate to those that are really in the class fighting for their...
You better preach it, bro. Sorry. You better preach. Come on now.
It makes you...
Get after it. Let it out, bro.
You can share a lot with what they're going through. When you're not experiencing that, or maybe you're just going through the motions, right?
Come on. Yes.
It can be...
yes.
Yeah. So when someone's coming in and they're really, really motivated, I'm thinking of a couple faces come up to me. It's like you can relate because you're doing the same thing. You're doing your extra work.
And you can get in there with someone who might not be motivated. And you can give them that.
Yeah.
And say the things that you just went through in that session, and remind them of like, well, maybe why are you here?
It happened yesterday. A client had a little bit of like a breakdown, like trying to pull something.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember our session on Monday?
Yeah.
Monday? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So a patient put like what?
1 million
10
pounds.
trillion pounds on the sled.
Yeah.
And I was having such a rough time pulling it. There's such inches. And I was just sharing the experience, like it's okay. Everyone goes through this. You gotta like it's hard on the mental, but having that experience to share with the client, and then that client broke out of it, and then
Yeah. Beautiful
feeling
moment.
good.
Beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Talk about reasons why we're doing resilience.
Yeah.
Like things like that, right?
Yeah. So that's been amazing.
The other thing too, you know, training with Moran and patient, like I would not consider myself an expert in fitness. I would consider myself a professional.
Yeah.
I'm not a cutting edge expert. Where I think I maybe bring to the table as a coach is getting a group going and rallying and let's go, you know? So for me, spending time with patient in particular has been really good and healthy for my professionalism as a fitness professional, because I'm learning these ways of approaching certain exercises or certain methodologies of fitness and
mindset. Are you going into lifting?
Like I'm talking specifically about fitness. You know, how to breathe through this movement.
No, but I'm saying that can be like a mindset thing of like, okay, dialing in, realizing you got to be present. I got to breathe into my core. I can't be like thinking about 9 other things. Patient's really good at that, right?
Amazing at it. And what it's done for me is realize, okay, I'm 10 years into this business. It's very easy to be in autopilot as far as the actual skill of coaching a particular thing, which is fitness. I need to keep learning this world of exercise, and I need to keep, you know, I'm not as passionate about being expert in the field. I'm more passionate about community and getting a group going and coaching a group and the team atmosphere. But the part about fitness is that I have so much to learn, and it's easy to say no. Like I'm taking the High Rocks, the High Rock certification, the high level one right now, and I'm learning a lot, and it's challenging me because it doesn't come naturally to me. What comes naturally to me is to be in the environment and flow and be with people and push people. But the actual intricacies of fitness and the movements and the exercises and the breakdown of these things don't come naturally to me, but I'm willing to learn them. So that has happened with our sessions.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Learning a lot from the people around us.
Yes.
And it takes, you got to be humble and realize we don't know everything for sure, 100%.
No. Laney dropped some dimes too. He's dropped some dimes on me about squatting, and he knows a lot too, man. And he's helped me realize some things as well.
And shout out to Moran. Like I came in the other day.
As a dog.
Came in the other day.
Dog.
And just the passion, you know?
Yeah, I love it.
Just excited to coach and just
dog.
That's amazing.
Dog. It's a dog.
And you can learn something from that too.
Dog.
Yeah.
It's like I'm looking forward to having Dexter and Robbie and Daniel and Jazz and all the other guys out.
For the session?
That's your...
For training?
Yeah, that's you. We want to see you guys somewhere in there. Let's go.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going on in 55 minutes. I have to go to the bathroom. I can keep going.
5 minutes. Let's go. Let's finish up. Hold your poo, man. Okay, let's keep going. We got 5 minutes. So, yeah, you had this kind of laid down in your mind. What do you want to really touch on, man?
That's honestly, dude. I touched on most of the things. I knew that the kind of talking about that thing would cause us to rift a little bit, and we did. And then I wanted to ask you about the training, and that was it.
Did you want to throw out the thing that you said about opportunities, and we're looking for people?
Yeah, we.
Or no?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I thought it might be. Yeah.
You don't have to.
That's
fine. We don't have to. Could be the next podcast. It's up to you.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're just Andrew and I are looking for opportunities. We see great things in our mind that we can take the business and improve it and make it something that we've never seen before and something we truly believe in, but we just don't have all the pieces around us. We're going to need people to help us. So if you're interested in hearing about it, talk to us.
Well said. That's really well said.
Yeah.
You moved my heart there, buddy. It's good.
It's true though,
good.
right?
It's very true.
Yeah.
It's very true. You and I have a desire to bring something to the table with the people around us that doesn't exist. And we're here for the journey, not the final outcome. And it's going to take not just us. We need resources.
Yeah.
We need help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything you listen to, it's never the person alone. It takes a village, you know?
Let's go. Announcements to wrap it up. FTRDX Phase 4 is happening this week, the first week. Looking forward to, just continuing to grow with our clients. We just want to remind people, if you're our client, if you're a member at Resilience, if you're someone who considers themselves a part of the Resilience community, let's keep lifting each other up. Because fitness can be a lonely road and can be a very focused road of self, but let's keep our eyes up and just be aware of the people around us. Just be aware that other people might just be starting their journey, and a little bit of encouragement really goes a far way. Yeah.
We have 2 minutes, but like it kind of brought me to thinking about how we were talking about that resilience thing. And it was interesting. We were talking about resilience real quick. I hope I can fit this in 2 minutes, but we were talking about resilience and how people sometimes view it as just doing the hard work and that's all. And then we were talking about, oh no, but like that's part of it. But in order to be resilient, it requires certain variables that will help you. We were talking about community and all that stuff. And yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because someone asked us, why do you name your company Resilience? And yeah, I think this is like an important thing for us to explain a little bit. Maybe we can touch a little bit more on it the next time because it's like a minute, but yeah, it's not just about putting your head down and just doing something you don't want to do all the time. It requires, I don't know. I see it in a different light a little bit.
To be continued.
To be continued.
I would go off right now too. I want to go off, but it is
58.
Do we have 1 minute?
1 minute.
Go for it.
No, I can't do it in 1 minute. We'll
the
talk about it next time.
term. This will be the to be continued. The term resilience. A lot of people relate to it as in you need to do the hard thing and be resilient through something very hard. But
on your own,
there's
usually.
aspects around what makes someone resilient. And it's what I'm encouraging our clients to do now. But get your head up and look around and encourage somebody. It goes a far way.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Good times, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. See you on the next one.
Later, peeps.
Yeah.